The Tangent Egg podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm Seth, and welcome to the Tangent Egg podcast. As always, with me is Swoosh and Jondoe.
Hi.
Hello.
It's been a bit of a quiet one this week, so we've only got a few things to get through. First up was a thing that once we saw it, it was just like, that's a laugh.
The instant well.
Put out an article titled, "It's time to start trusting video game reviewers."
No.
Guys, no.
It's time to start trusting politicians again, written by politicians. Go and get fucked.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, you can definitely trust us now. I was like, I don't think we can, guys. It rings bad because I didn't read the full article, but Seth, you did. So run us through it.
Essentially, they have a bit of a whinge about how much time it actually takes to review games and the whatnot, and that they can't be bad at games because, well, they review them in a week so they can do the write-up for it, and they do it on whatever difficulty setting, and there are no guides, and there's no boss help, and there's all this, and they have a whole bunch to go about that. And that's fair. If you're going to do that job, you're going to be expected to do that. And then they basically softball themselves two examples of when they were right.
Yeah.
Which was, reviewers said the Elden Ring DLC was going to be hard. The fans were like, nuh-uh. And then a couple weeks later, the fans were like, oh yeah, the Elden Ring DLC's hard. It's a game by FromSoft.
I don't know why the fans were even thinking it wouldn't be difficult.
Well, the thing is, previously, you go through a game and then you do it on a new game level, and you can keep leveling up a character. People would have, level 5 go-round characters, so when the DLCs come out, they just sweep through them. This one, they decided to scale it with the player.
Yeah.
So these guys going through on their New Game Plus games were having a way harder time than these people going through on their first time through. So it kind of absolutely rocked all the people who were just expecting to steamroll the DLC.
I'm kind of okay.
But it's FromSoft. It's the softest of all balls to be like, oh yeah, people eventually agreed that the thing that's hard is hard.
Yeah.
I don't think people would bitch as much as if at the top of the review they said, this is how much you played, and then this difficulty. I played it on easy and I played the first 3 levels. That's what I'm reviewing. Not writing a review for the entire game when they've only played the first 3 levels on easy and then saying, oh, but it was really easy to get through and I had difficulty doing this. You didn't even play that.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Add the fact that they have a long way to go before we ever trust gaming reviewers or even gaming journalists again. After all the shit, it happened years ago with Gamergate and everything else, but they were still fucking with everything in the back end, expecting us to go along with stuff. It's like, we're not going to trust you now. I'm going to treat you the same way I treat the weatherman. If he says it's going to be raining tomorrow, it's like, maybe it will rain. I ain't taking it as gospel. There's a good chance you're wrong.
It's going to be sunny, I'm still taking an umbrella.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I mean, hell, we give our opinions on this show on games.
Yeah.
Arguably, that's a review, and I would definitely say don't trust us.
Oh, guaranteed.
We're just 3 other idiots. We like the things we like. We all went kind of weird over the Ant game.
Yeah, we're a bit strange. But it's one of those things where we can only speak for our own opinion on a game.
Yeah.
We will not have the same opinion as everyone else.
I'd also rather people make up their own mind.
Yeah.
Look at a review to see if it's the style of game you want to play. But in the end, play the game your fucking self and then make up your mind. Don't take my word for it or anyone else's word. I like playing some really shitty games because they're shitty games. I want to know why they're shitty. So I go out and play them. If I only read the reviews and said, oh, this is going to be bad because of this, I wouldn't know what I actually like to play or know why I like playing what I want to play.
Absolutely. That's why I like Game Pass so much. Every month I jump on and download some random stuff and play through it just to see what's there. I'm currently mildly addicted to one called Merge and Blade, and it's those what are they? Phone games where you merge things together.
Yeah.
It's that, but it's warriors, and then you have them fight another bunch of warriors, and it's annoyingly fun.
I hate that my brain just went, you need to download that.
Yeah,
So did mine.
It's on Game Pass. It's all like little sprites, and it's very fun. And you merge enough like sets of 3 together, and it gives you a stronger one. If you get more than 3, you get extra turns and stuff to set your army up.
It sounds like Puzzle Quest.
Yeah, I've just lost it because it's just dopamine, and the brain goes.
What was the name of that one?
Merge and Blade.
Merge and Blade. Nice.
But I really
So
enjoy
point
it.
is, make up your own mind. We're
Exactly.
not
Absolutely.
like reviewers are great for figuring out the tone of the game, what it is, because sometimes trailers are really fucking vague these days.
Oh fuck!
Freaking
Either
oath.
they're
And
really
if
vague
you-
or they give away everything.
And if you maybe vibe with the person's whose review you're watching, you might give it some more weight. But go about it that far.
Yeah.
After that, check it out yourself some more. If you're not going to get that much more from reading more reviews. You'll either get a confirmation bias or
Look,
you'll just get muddled data.
it might be just the fact that like we grew up in that generation when the internet was first coming up and like appearing. But don't trust anything on the internet. Like, don't trust anyone. No one out there has your best intentions at heart. They're out there to make money or to get their own like validation. Never trust them entirely. Like, verify all the information. Like, if someone says great game, like awesome. If I can find a demo for it, I'll give it a shot. But don't take anything as gospel. You're just asking to get angry at that point.
That is one thing that I do really like about Steam, how they're having more, like, I've been noticing more and more demos lately. I don't know if it's just me and I hadn't been paying attention before, but I've been noticing more indie games and stuff and having more demos out, which is
I
fucking
think it was
awesome.
Definitely
a
noticed
month
that too.
ago. They had the Summer Games Fest where they pump a lot of indies, and everyone who's in that has a demo.
Yeah.
Which
is
swear
awesome.
It's like indies always have demos now, which I love because you can find out what kind of game it is. I've noticed that a lot of the big games don't tend to have demos anymore.
No, they
And
call
they're
them
always
betas.
the ones, yeah. But they're always the ones that fail as well because they're a shit game. It's like if we give them a demo, they'll realize it's bad and they won't buy it. It's like,
Yes,
yeah,
that's exactly why.
Well, that's the current thing everyone's worried about with Space Marine.
yeah.
Because they were supposed to have a beta, and they randomly pulled it because they needed to do more work, and now everyone's like, why? What did you not want us to see?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with them taking longer for a game. Like, I know people will always be shitty about it. Like, there's no way around it. It's always disappointing when a
Well,
game
they
gets
haven't
pushed back.
delayed Space Marine.
Yeah.
It's still coming out on its set date, but now everyone's wondering what they were hiding before release that would maybe influence people's opinion.
Yeah. But, like, either way, it's just like, I get it, but if you take longer and we get a better product, I'm okay with that. I will whinge and bitch a little bit, but I'm not going to hold it against you. Same with, like,
I don't know.
I don't like those kind of public betas. I think they're annoying. They don't do anything. They're mostly just trying to get for hype more often than not.
Well, I mean, they're a server stress test, not a beta. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all they
the
are.
game is
That's
already
really
made by this point. We just need to throw as many people as we can in the server.
It's not
to
a
see if
beta.
shit holds.
Yeah. And it's just, if that's what they called it, I'd have no issues. But it's like, oh, it's a beta, or it's like, what's the other one they use? Early access, all that kind of stuff. Like, no, just call it what it is, please. Stop treating me like a child.
And
Trying to server stress test with the diehards before you hand it over to the regulars.
early access in a single player game is fucking pointless.
That's been popping
Play
up a
it
bit.
3 days early.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's just FOMO praying.
Yeah.
That's it.
play a game without the day zero patch, so you can see how broken it really is. You'll appreciate it when we release the patch, and it's still broken.
No, they'll have gotten used to the broken thing, and now they'll be annoyed that they can't do the broken thing.
Yeah, they find all the ways to exploit the game, and suddenly it's like, well, we fixed these problems. Like, but I liked those ones. But no. But game journalists, back on that track, I don't trust them. I don't think I ever will again. Like,
No.
No, and it's a self-inflicted injury.
oh, absolutely.
yeah.
They shot themselves in the foot for that.
I don't know. I don't see them like. There was the old story of them of games journalists really only getting into it because that's where they get allocated. They really want to be doing the political news or some other news, but they get given games journalism and they try and make stories wherever the fuck they can.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I'd probably trust that if you like playing games, you most likely started off just playing your own games and then writing about it online.
Yeah.
Like
I'm more likely going to trust a random blogger who has no skin in the game than I am an actual affiliated game journalist. Because, like everything else, game journalism is a business. They are in it to make money.
Yeah.
And more often than not, the games will go to these, high-end places, or they'll go into renowned reviewers and say, hey, look at all this free stuff we're giving you. And then suddenly there's a glowing review of a very shit game. And it's just... that was also an old rumor that went around that if you reviewed one company's game really poorly, you weren't going to get a review copy of their next game. Yeah.
So honestly, access is everything in that industry.
Yeah.
So it just becomes a matter of you're now just kowtowing to these games industries and saying what they want you to say. Like, why should I trust that? Why would I trust the propaganda from the games company? And that is just all they are now.
But by the same token, like, when I worked for Game and a game came out, if someone else sold it 3 days early, it means that they wouldn't get any more copies of that game for like 3 to 6 months. But if we could prove it, then we could sell it early and we wouldn't face the repercussions. So whenever a game came out that I wanted to play, I would call everyone in like every shop around the city, everyone that had sold a game early before, and they hit them up. Oh, I heard this game's coming out. Can I get like an early copy? And the amount of times I got an early copy, like,
God,
I was working for Game and I got paid a little bit extra for going out and breaking release dates. I got to keep the copy of the game. They gave me a bonus, and then Game was allowed to sell it without repercussions.
Nice.
So, if you bought a game early from Game in the middle of Brisbane, you're welcome. Because we were all gamers, we adhered to friggin' release dates.
Well, I think I will trust the guys in the game shop more than I trust a journalist. Because these are the people who actually play games, and will just... Part of their job is selling stuff. It's not the entire job.
No. But,
I don't know, most game stores are turning into a fucking Zing now.
They kind of are, yeah.
But they also sort of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It absolutely sucks, but they have to. They have to do something to keep their business model rolling.
Considering everything has gone digital. Like, you can still get a disc, but it doesn't do anything.
It used to be, when I worked for Game, we weren't actually told we could, but it was one of the little perks of the job that a game came out and you'd get it in store for almost a week early, and we were told you can play it, just whatever console it is, can't be connected to the internet. Don't play it online, don't try to download anything for it, just play what's on the disc, and that's it. Yeah. And later on finding out that the 360 consoles, when the logo flashed on the screen, was actually a code of the serial number for your console. It's that's how they're fucking jacking people up. The people who get a copy early release a video of it and then have their loading screen say, see, look, I can load the game. And that little flash was the serial number of their console. That's how they got banned. So we were told, don't post video of it, don't whatever, just play the game, at least get an idea for the game. So when people come in on day one, you can say, that's what this kind of game is.
Yeah.
So I don't know if any other stores do it. I know we did. And we always had good reviews.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the entire article just seems to reek of, please, guys, please trust us. Because I'm guaranteeing they've seen a massive drop in viewership or readers, and now they're panicking because, their job's on the line. Whatever. So,
moving on. The Catholic Church is preparing to canonize its first gamer saint.
Alright, I have two questions. One, doesn't a saint need to be already deceased before they can reach sainthood?
He is.
He is?
And they have to have been deceased for at least 5 years before they can be considered.
And they also have to do like miracles or something, right?
They have to have at least 2 miracles attributed to their actions for him to be considered.
So how are they justifying this then?
In the 21st century.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're justifying it by being one of the largest religions in the world with an egregious amount of power over world industry.
Yeah. I'll do it. Bastards. But do they actually list what their miracles are?
Yes, they did. They said exactly what the 2 miracles that are attributed to him, because that is a requirement.
The Pope was locked out of his Roblox account and suddenly it came back.
No, it actually sounds way more epic.
Oh, yeah. Was it a clutch heel right at the end?
Wow. So I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. I guarantee you. Actus was first benefied in 2020 after a Brazilian boy with a pancreatic defect was cured following his mother's prayers to Atticus to help her son.
Atticus is the name of the guy who they're sanctifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, woman prayed to him and he cured her boy.
How did the woman know to pray to some random gamer?
Yeah.
Second miracle, reportedly healing a Costa Rican girl who was suffering serious head injury after falling off her bicycle. Her mother prayed for the girl's recovery at Atticus' tomb, and lo and behold, her daughter was fully recovered.
I have questions. One is, why were they praying to a gamer and not a different, higher deity?
Yeah.
And 2, just... that's not what gamers would do. Most gamers, if they saw a child fall off a bike, would laugh. And hell, the early days of Xbox was nothing but young kids telling each other to get cancer.
But, this kid passed away in 2006 at 15 years from leukemia.
Oh, fuck.
By all accounts, he was just a normal kid who had leukemia and passed away. So, why is there a tomb dedicated to this kid?
So, apparently, in life, he was a very generous person, helped the homeless, helped spread the word, and was called God's influencer.
I'm just thinking of 15-year-olds that I know.
Yeah.
They don't have a whole lot of impact.
They don't. I granted this kid may have done some really good stuff, locally within his community and stuff, and that's great. That's fucking awesome. It's a shame he passed away. But this just, to me, reeks of a publicity stunt from the Catholic Church, and they're using the memory of a dead child to do it.
We just need someone who fits a rough mold, and we're going to shoehorn it in, and this is what's going to happen.
It feels icky. I don't like it. It just feels very weird.
He's remembered by family as enjoying playing video games, such as Halo. But it's just, they had to bring in the whole thing. He loves Halo. He must have a Halo now.
They're just name-dropping games for the Yes gets youth credit.
Pretty much. And honestly, I
cool,
think the Catholic
children.
Church... I've always this is coming from the Catholic Church, the ones who should not be trusted with children. Yes. It's oh, God. I don't like
hello, children. Come into the dark room and play my Xbox.
You ought to. Oh, that was a slow burn one. That got me good.
God damn.
But this just feels opportunistic and horrible, and I don't know what they were thinking. I
don't know.
I want to know whose decision this was, because it has to go up high enough for it to be saints or what's the word? Canonized. I would have to reach the higher ups, and
it would get me into a church if they did a sermon on the gospel according to Atticus, and all it was reading out his COD chat.
Oh, that would be great. That would be amazing.
I would go to church and sit there for an hour and a half just to listen to that.
Oh God!
Because 2006 COD.
Whew.
Jesus, that's that would
have been
the old modern, the original Modern Warfare days.
That's the dark times of game chat. Jesus, that would be hilarious. It's like reading someone's browser history out in a public space. Oh God, no, the horror.
And thine holy self said, "Look, 360 no scope, bitch. I
won." Lo, his head did pop.
Oh, and the ultimate betrayal of the team. It's a teabagging. Just the random.
And thine fornicating of the mother was had.
Alright, no, I would definitely listen to, like, just COD chat in general written in that way. I reckon that could be fun.
The gospel would be fucking banging. Can you imagine a full choir and all it is Halo theme?
Yeah, it's just a Halo choir. Right. But this
basically the Christian church is using a kid's memory to promote their shit.
Yeah,
which is scummy as all hell. I don't like that. But then again, it is the Catholic Church. When have they not been scummy? So
pretty much,
like, yeah.
So moving on. The first Descendant came out on Tuesday. Yes. And apparently a number of people have been having some trouble with frame rates. And the response from the dev was, just uninstall and reinstall that.
Yeah. We're not going to fix it. Just do it again. And then when it happens again, do it again.
Do it again.
So essentially it's like, oh, this is a memory leak. We're not going to fix it. Just uninstall and reinstall each time, yeah? Okay, bye.
Certainly seems that way.
Yeah. I haven't played it yet, but I've seen you guys popping up on Steam of playing through a bit of it, and you're enjoying it so far, or?
It is.
I would like to hear from Dan because I have opinions because of other things.
Fair.
It's a Frankenstein of other games, and it feels like it's taken some of the shittier things of other games and just mushed them all together with the microtransaction hell of a mobile game.
Ooh. But is it Diablo levels of microtransactions?
No, it's not. You can't buy power yet. Well, no, actually, hang on. You can buy currency, which you can then use to buy items, which you can then use to craft other items, which you can use to provide power. There are multiple levels before the power comes, and you've got to spend a lot of money to get it. Or burn an arseload of time, or just buy the characters. Though they haven't implemented that yet, but it will be coming.
Like 90% of the store was cosmetics. Yeah. The ability to buy the Descendants. And then there was a little bit of, like, you can buy in-game currency stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels very much like the Warframe store for buying characters will be implemented shortly, but currently it's just currency for buying cosmetics. Because they've got 15 Descendants within the game at the moment, and which you can then unlock by doing quests to build up resources and then spending those resources on a certain part of a token, and you need 4 specific tokens to unlock a full character, and then you got to do the quest to actually unlock the character. That's a lot of fucking around for each one.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But
it is a free to play, so we kind of expected at least some kind of
there's going to be some. They've got to like grub the money in from somewhere.
Oh, definitely.
From what I feel of it, it feels like a Frankenstein between Destiny, Warframe, Anthem, and Outriders. It's somewhere in the middle of those 4.
Yeah.
Fair. The fact that certain ones are in there. Anthem, like, what part of Anthem did they take? Is the question. Was it the complete failure of a main game?
The movement feels a little like Anthem did for the ground combat.
Fair.
And a little for the zip line to a point.
I felt it particularly because the bit of Anthem I played anyway, I didn't play a lot of it. Like that, all this jungle area, and then I remember there was some of the early missions. You're just like jogging through jungle canyons, and I'm just like, God, this feels like what Anthem wanted to be.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like it's doing Anthem's thing, although it is.
It's like a 2 drops essence of Anthem. It's not like a large chunk. There's that little bit of... Also, to me, playing Anthem, when you were running on the ground, it felt a little floaty. I don't know if it was just me, but running on, I didn't feel like... It's fucking hard to explain.
It had no weight to it.
No, and this feels very much the same.
Fair.
like you can get hit by one thing and it'll throw you half a mile, and get hit by something else that feels like it should have the same impact and not move.
Yeah.
And it's it felt a little disjointed there. It's like it's taken the mission concepts from Destiny with the leveling system of Warframe, with the world progression of Outriders.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely. Completely agree.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. I've got hopes for it, and I'm a little on the fence with where the game will head in the future, but right now it's free to play. You're mad if you don't give it a go.
Yeah.
You don't have to burn the cash. All you got to do is burn, was it 38 gig of download?
Yeah.
And potentially do it twice if you have issues. Hey.
Hey, who knows? They might just sell your playing data. It'll be fine. That's how they pay for it.
Oh, okay. This is like one of the things I was kind of not happy about, but like it's pretty standard. Unfortunately, they have a thing when you're signing in, you agree to terms of service, yada. One of them is agreeing to let them use player data.
But you can't opt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you open it for a greater information, they're like, we can use any of this information inside of North Korea or any other country that this company runs in.
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't feel okay, guys.
All I can imagine is just, like, in North Korea, there's like, yes, we're getting all the data on these gamers, and, oh, God, all they like is Mountain Dew and Cheetos. But why did we want this data?
It is pretty funny, like, they're tracking that data, because there's 3 of the descendants where their character model is female and quite well endowed with a rather large boob window.
Yeah.
And
standard.
I played several public matches, and I was the only standard character. That was the only other model that played in all of these matches. It's like they went through it and it's like, boobs. I'm playing with boobs. That's all it is. It's like, God damn. Like, I don't really care what the character looks like. I just want to play a character that works for how I want to play.
Yeah, what's their moveset? Do they punch things good? Like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
And the reason I wanted to go first is because I've played a shed load of Warframe.
Yeah. I tried.
And rolling into this game, it was like, I've done this.
Yeah.
Done this before. Because, like, the mod system's the same. The leveling up of the descendants is just the same as the frames. You use Forma to reset them. Same with all the guns. It's just like, you cribbed Warframe's notes really hard on this one.
Yeah. They literally cherry-picked the entire leveling system from Warframe. Like, everything that lets you build up and grow is Warframe, straight out.
Fair.
And it perplexed the shit out of me because, like, people were complaining about the grind, and it's like, I've done this before, you don't know shit.
I'm just going to max out this weapon. I'm going to run with this weapon or keep upgrading this particular weapon type until it's max, and then I'll try something else.
You think you know the grind? I was born in it.
Hey man, back when we were in uni, I played way too many free-to-play Asian MMOs, which were just a grind fest.
Between that and, like, original WoW and a few other games I used to play back in high school, it's like, the grind was real.
But yeah, people are complaining about the grind in this free-to-play game. It's like, that's how it works.
There is cream in my sauce. It's a cream sauce, sir. That's what you wanted. Just,
and like the missions are straight out. You may as well just rip them clean out of Destiny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything from like
hub
go
zone,
to this point,
you wander around,
thing,
go to a marker.
To or they even tell you like this mission is expected to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you go the extra mile. The defense missions are between 5 and 35 minutes. So there's a set. This is how long this will take. So if you've only got a couple of minutes to jump on, you can, which is pretty cool. It actually sort of looks at your time and so you can spend it doing shit you want to do. But
that's fair.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool with it. And there's plenty of shit walking around in it. So,
when I was playing, I was really thinking, like, you know, if you were the kind of person who kind of wanted to play something like Warframe, but like, oh man, 10 years of
Warframe
content's
Live. Yeah.
a bit much. If you wanted to play something that was like that, like, First Descendant is probably a really good bet if you wanted to play that sort of game, but you wanted to be at the start instead of 10 years in.
I might pick it up, because, like, Warframe, I always loved the style of Warframe, but I could never get the movement right. Like, it didn't gel with me.
I already had Warframe installed on my system. I thought, fuck it. I've played, like, 20-something hours of of this.
First Descendant.
Actually, I'm going to look up and see exactly how many hours I have played of it. Freaking hell.
Well, it's been great watching my Steam occasionally, because I'll see one of you two pop up playing First Descent, then 5 minutes later a different game. Like, something happened.
I've played about 10, 11 hours of First Descendant.
It's not bad.
And I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. But this screams Warframe. So I'm just going to jump back into Warframe and just see. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing in Warframe. At all. I don't know what mission I was up to, how to find the mission, what weapons I was using, how to play any of the characters, even jump in and thought, fuck, how hard can the controls be? I'll just fuck around. I could run around, jump, and shoot. The rest was a fucking mystery.
Yeah.
I'd have to dedicate several hours to actually learning how to play Warframe again before I could even look at doing an actual fucking mission. I just went to an open area and ran around and died so many times.
We basically just need Seth to appear in Warframe and give us like a boot camp.
Yeah.
Great.
Although they do have a much better new game experience these days.
That's good.
But yeah,
they actually like completely redid their entire opening quest to actually run you through how your ship works, where to find the maps and things.
I remember playing Warframe with the old startup, and like I vaguely remember it, and then I came back to it several years later, and they had the new one. It's like, wait, this is like a starting mission, but I've already done a starting mission, and fuck, hang on, no, have I lost everything that I'd already done? No, it's still there. It's just, what the fuck? And now I'd like that to happen again. I'd like that to trigger off again so I can at least go, what the fuck am I doing? How do I play this game?
But yeah, it's not bad. But it just feels like that's this is that plug-in, this is this other thing that was popular. It doesn't feel like its own thing.
Yeah. And the part I took from Outriders was like the world tier system. So you earn XP to level up the world tier, which increases difficulty for the entire open world area as well as missions, but it also increases drop rates for everything within that world.
Yeah.
Diablo 4 has done much the same thing by the nightmare tiers and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But this feels very much like the one from Outriders, where they had like specific tiers. I haven't found if you can step back down tiers yet, but I'm at like world tier 5 or 6 or so now, and it feels much more active than it was at world tier 1. Like the enemies aren't so much as bullet spongy, but they move around a lot more. Like world tier 1, it was just enemy runs straight at you. World tier 5, okay, I've lined up a shot and the enemy will dash to the side and then will run behind boxes to come at me. They just feels like they actually have evolved that little bit. Still dumb, but it does feel like a change. And drop rates are getting better. Finally at the next tier of rarity.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I might play it a little bit. I'm most likely not going to. Again, I already did the grind in Warframe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly keen to start another game that's basically that again.
If
especially because Warframe ain't dead yet.
Yeah, if I was already invested in a game that involved any other kind of grind, I probably wouldn't dump any more time into this because I'd already invested grind elsewhere. Yeah. But because most of the games I play now are like, I'm going to play for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'm out. Whereas this, I can jump in, I can see I can do these 3 missions. They're all 5 minutes each. Okay, done. It's not so much of a grind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see where the appeal will be. It's just whether it has the legs to keep on running for that little bit longer to actually have a sustained player base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it might not. There's plenty of weird MMOs and things in Korea and shit that just exist.
Yeah.
So many of them.
I'd be very curious to see if this has even a quarter of the lifespan of something like Warframe or Destiny has had.
I think the biggest thing that probably either, it kind of goes both ways, suggests that it won't, but also that it might, is that it's owned by Nixon.
True.
That's a big company. So they're going to want return. But at the same time, if it does, they'll probably give it all the savor it needs.
But also, like, they want a big return on it, but primarily at the moment, the biggest return is on cosmetics. Like, you can buy some shit in the game that you can use towards buying other things that you can eventually get power out of. But until that actually gets added to the store where you can actually buy these extra characters and power-ups and all that kind of stuff, I'd be curious to see what the income is for this game, whether they actually look at that and go, okay, now we're going to give it another 2 years at this low rate while it builds a player base before we kick in the guts, pull it in.
I would expect the nickel and diming to start reasonably quickly. I was honestly surprised to not see it in the game at the start.
So was I. I was expecting to get splash screens of ads immediately.
I know it's not a gacha game,
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be constantly selling you. Look, if it sticks to the structure it's set up, it won't be a gacha game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no blind rolls to get, I don't know. Currently, they have a pathway for you to knowably either purchase or invest in game resources, exactly what you're supposed to get.
I don't know what it is, but I have just like a feeling when they bring in the character store, there'll be an option there for you to burn probably a few excess credits, a couple of hundred, and you get a random roll of a character. If you've already got that character, you get resources. If you don't, it'll be a cheap way to get a random character. I don't know why. It's just a feeling that I've got playing this game and other games that have felt similar.
Yeah.
And it's become, it's not so much a loot box. It's you're going to get something out of it. It's just whether it's anything that you can get a new character or not.
I think it's just because you have that sort of selectable build aspect of, like, you can specifically target this thing to unlock, that it doesn't make sense to then create a blind baggie of those things you already know. The effect of gotchas is, new character, I don't even have that. I can't even make a pathway to get that.
Yeah.
I've just got a blind roll for it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, I could be completely wrong. I don't know. The first Ascendant crowd might be like, yeah, we're all about that bag crack. I don't know. I just can't see it with that sort of setup. But then they may change that later and do something else with the unlock system for the characters outside of the initial 15. Who fucking knows?
I would absolutely love to see... Well, I will see in about 6 months' time where this game is at.
Yeah. That would actually be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well, for, like, the first one from, like, this month, I think that was really dropping, it sounds like it's done pretty well.
Yeah, it has. It's actually done very well. It jumped very high in the Steam play charts.
Yeah. Next up, I think we have, like, Flintlock that drops next on the 17th.
That's the next big thing.
Yeah, and that's coming to Game Pass as well, like, day one Game Pass.
Nice. I'll actually play it there. Isn't there... I thought there was, like, a single-player gacha game coming out.
Yeah, Zenless Zone Zero comes out on the 7th.
I was trying to remember the name of that. I wanted to see if it was on Steam or where I could find that, because I am curious about how that actually works.
So you can either get it from their actual website, put their installer on your computer, or you can get it from Epic.
Oh, okay. Well, there goes any interest I had.
Gross.
I'll wait till that expands. So, next year.
We'll wait until the stink of Epic is off it, then we might grab it.
I mean, it doesn't really, it doesn't actually matter. If you want to play it, you can just go to their website and get the installer.
Yeah, I wasn't that interested in it. It was more just, if I can get it and it's free to play and I can jump on and have a look at it, I'll have a look at it for a couple of hours, but...
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That one's you got to go to their website. You got to invest in the Hoyoverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Right, so that's all I had on the docket. So,
Yes.
you guys said you had some stuff you wanted to talk about, and some stuff you've been watching. So,
I mean,
go.
Dan was recently catching up on a YouTuber we both watch, so
Oh.
that's always. I
So
also recently caught up
if
on.
anyone else is into conspiracy theories and weird shit, have we got a
Y-Files.
YouTube channel for you?
I really love the Y-Files. The way he does everything in like the narrative format at the start is great fun, and it's entertaining.
Though, like, a lot of it is broken out like over the course of the YouTube episode. So they normally run from between half an hour to an hour and a half, and it's usually he tells a story of a supernatural event or a conspiracy theory or a theorized point in history or whatever the topic is for this particular episode, and he tells a story of a situation within that world, and then dotted throughout it, like, he'll tell a little bit of the story, and then he'll bring in some of the reported facts that back this part of the story, and then he'll continue on with the next part, and then provide that little bit more. He's got his little joke character that sits behind him, a goldfish named Hecklefish, who provides the little bit of comic relief that it so desperately fucking needs, so it's not just a tinfoil hat screaming at a microphone. Goes through the entire story that way to the end. Usually the last like 5 to 20 minutes is usually like, okay, so here are the actual facts that, as they're seen, you can interpret these how you want. I've told you the story, and this is the breakdown. So a lot of the episodes go, okay, this is and this is proven. No, this is fucking wrong. It's straight out theory. Other things like there's things going against it, but there's also some things that we just don't have the answers for yet. Yeah. Which,
and all the crazy like conspiracy stuff on the internet, he's the one that breaks it down into the most easy.
He's probably the most middle of the road. Like, he's not so much completely against it, but he's also not a true believer for any of it. Yeah. So he goes, here's the full story. I'm going to spin you the story as you would be told by someone who is a true believer of it. But also, here's the facts as they're seen that you can find, that you can look at, and here's where to find them. So you can make up your own fucking mind. Yeah. So I like that he's a very centralized, like, he's not really on either side of the spectrum of it.
And the fact that, like, with everything, he's been putting up a lot of compilation episodes at the moment. So if you do get into it, there's like hour-long compilation episodes.
Yeah, one of them is like 4.5 hours of like the moon and space, which is some of my favorite episodes.
They are really fun.
Some of his more recent episodes have been on. One of them is like the dark side of the moon, and he goes like, there's hidden space bases and all that kind of, goes to the whole story of it, and then at the end he does the breakdown of like, okay, so these photos weren't specifically doctored by NASA, but NASA has doctored photos before. We have the evidence of that. This evidence here isn't specifically for this, but this kind of evidence has been exposed as being actually true before, and so he does give you both sides of the token. And then he goes, there's some things that when I started this channel, I was looking at going, this is an absolute joke. It can't be real. And through his own investigation into it to make the episode, he's not like, by the end of it, I was questioning whether this was real or not. Because some of the evidence, it's hard to, like, my favorite one. My favorite one is the Hollow Moon episode. If any
I
get a
love
chance
the Hollow Moon episode.
Which is, like, there's some weird shit with the moon, which it's just, it is. Like, the moon rings like a hollow bell if it gets struck by anything. It's weird that all the craters are a similar depth. There's, like, things about it's like, what the hell is going on here? And it's just, it's not something that I'm sitting there going, bring me my tinfoil hat. Here's all the answers. It's just a weird thing to look at and go, well, why is that? That's just odd. I'd like to know more about that. Please send more shit to the moon. Get me my answers.
Pretty much. I love the fact he also doesn't hide his bias in any way.
Oh, no.
From the get-go, you know he believes in certain things. And even at the end of the episode, it's like, look, I am biased. I believe these things. However, that's the information I put forward, and I've tried to be as like middle of the road as I can.
Yeah, well, he's tried to
I like that
let you make up your own mind with the evidence that he has.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
But I love some of the conspiracies that pop up. In general, I love conspiracies. I find them fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
They're so strange. But it's things like, the fact that the moon rings like a bell when, things impact it. It's like, all right, can we just start going back again? Can we just send a couple guys to investigate and have a look and figure things out?
Over the next 10 years, there's over 15, there's 15 different groups, all either planning to put people on, probes on, or robots on the moon for further investigation. And it's like, okay, start sending more shit there. Send shit to Mars. Like, come on.
We've got enough robots on Mars. Let's send some to the moon. Let's show the moon some love.
Apparently, NASA wanted to crowdfund to send to bring samples back from Mars, to send a new probe there because they didn't have funding or something to get a sample there and back again.
That's depressing.
I know. Where's some of that CIA money? Just send that to fucking NASA.
The group is actually trying to break our orbit and extend humanity into space. Yeah, can we just tap 2 less phones?
Yeah.
Actually, that reminds me. Recently, there was a thing that popped up. It's weirdly enough has not been gone over too much in media, but there's actually 2 astronauts currently stuck on the International Space Station.
Yeah, I saw that.
And every time, NASA gets close to being able to send something to either get them or get them supplies, they push the date back again. And it's getting to a point now where it's like, guys, go, stop pussyfooting around. I know it's a Boeing, but for the love of God, get in the air. So it's just, that popped up recently because I've been watching For All Mankind, which is a series, which is based around the idea that the Soviets beat America to the moon, and thus Reagan doubled down. I think it was Reagan. No, not Reagan.
Kennedy.
Who was the Kennedy? No, it was one before Kennedy. Who was the I'm not a crook guy? Watergate, whatever his name was.
Nixon.
Nixon, yes. Nixon doubled down. So Nixon doubles down, going, fuck it, no, we'll build a base on the moon. And that's how it keeps going. It does all that kind of stuff. And I think the algorithm picked up that I've been watching this and has gone, moon things! And has shown me this. And it's terrifying. Because there's nowhere they can go. They are just trapped on there. And they have a finite source of air, food, and water.
Right up until they hear some knocking from the door.
Oh, yeah. Just the aliens turning going, hey, you guys need a snack? Please, give us food.
Pizza delivery.
That's the
Your
other thing
DoorDash order is ready.
That's the other thing the Y-Files go through, the alien conspiracies and, I love those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Control the world.
I'm down for alien conspiracies. Holy shit. I love them. But they do everything from, the Dark Pyramid beneath Alaska.
Yes.
Or underground bases all over the world. Alien bases and UFO incidents in specific locations. And
what's the one?
I just love it so much.
What's the mountain? Mount Shasta? The one they keep going on about? Yeah. So apparently there's a hidden society underneath Mount Shasta. God knows why. But,
have you seen the world? Are you really that surprised they would be hidden?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a good point. Then there's all the ancient civilization stuff. Apparently Atlantis was at war with a different nation called Mu. Which every time someone says it, I just keep thinking of the Pokemon. And yeah, no, it's a strange thing that people have made.
The dates of all these artifacts they find are all aged to roughly the same point. The Younger Dryas.
Oh, they love that. They fucking love the Young Dryas.
Yes, and for anyone who's listening, that's when the last ice age ended, and the Great Floods wiped out so much. The only people who survived were on high land, and it wiped out so many ancient civilizations. That's the whole point of the Younger Dryas.
Yeah.
Fucking goddamn.
Yeah. It's the origin of the flood myth from mythology.
Pretty much, since every nation has a flood myth, but the way everyone's like, oh no, it's like, no, it was just a very fast, well, from planetary perspective, very fast increase in ocean.
Yes, but what caused it? Was it solar? Was it meteorites? Was it global radiation from aliens?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love that, like, you look at any of these conspiracy boards, the first thing they jump to is always aliens or like something absurd.
Like to a conspiracy nut, aliens are like magic. It's like, aliens did it. I can't explain it. It's magic. It's aliens.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the interesting things about the particularly the alien people, the design
aliens?
of the alien they'll talk about generally matches a pop culture representation of an alien
from when they were a child. Yeah.
In this, he does go through, like, he's got an episode on the greys, the tall whites, the scaly greens. There's like 8 different races of aliens all on the planet, and it's like, it's really fucking funny because each little group has their own. No, these ones are real. The rest are all fake, and they all say the same thing, and it's quite fucking funny.
The only thing all those factions agree upon is the ones who believe all of those people are on the planet at the same time are the crazy ones.
Yeah.
Like, it's so strange. My favorite thing, though, I'm a horrible human being. We all know this. But anytime I talk to these kinds of people, it's like, oh no, the aliens are here to steal our resources. Like, so they drove past the asteroid belts to get here. There's more resources in the belt. And we would have no way of seeing what they're doing out there. We can't see that far very well. We'd have very low resolution for it. Why are they coming here and dealing with a bunch of naked monkeys when they could just be stealing shit from the surrounds of us? They never have a very good answer.
Well, that's actually answered in one of the more recent episodes of Ancient Histories, where we're a genetically modified ape species, which is why we took such a great leap from a certain point. Before that, we were monkeys for millions of years. And
oh god,
it's so good.
I love the leaps in logic. It is amazing.
The Anunnaki, that's it.
That's for the Anunnaki. Fucking Anunnaki.
Yes, they're an alien race who came here to steal our gold because that's what they needed to save their own planet. And we were genetically modified to be a slave race.
Except that the civilization that predated them was still around in the record.
Yeah. It's quite funny. And
the one thing I will agree wholeheartedly with the guy who runs the Y-Files is he keeps saying was it big archaeology.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, archaeologists do not like being wrong. No one likes being wrong, but they are very, very upset when they are. So anytime there's a new find, it's like, we've carbon dated this. It's actually like much earlier than what we thought the early civilization was. Watching them go insane is hilarious. It's like, no, you're all wrong. It's bad. It's just bad carbon dating. And then they go off and do the carbon dating themselves because, peer review, science. And they're like, oh shit, they were right. Well, that sucks.
He also has his like Big Pharma episode, which is hidden cures and secret medicines. And that's fucking interesting going through that one.
The old Big Power as well. Like, the apparently will have steam powered
the free energy.
Yeah. We've all I remember growing up with those. Oh god, I grew up with those kinds of stories because like one of my uncles was a bit of a conspiracy nut, and he was one of those people who said, oh no, it's they disappeared a bunch of people who had these really good patents. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure, maybe, but at the same time, why wouldn't a power company buy this shit up and then just start selling the power with very little overhead? If you had infinite energy that you could just sell off, why would you stick with something ineffective and expensive? Like, the same way of chemtrails, one of my favorite conspiracies. They're dumping mind control chemicals in the air. Like, why? They have access to your water.
Yeah.
Like, why
there's already the mind control chemical in there and the fluoride. Don't you see?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the fluoride.
See,
that's what it does.
That's why it's in there. It's to make you to forget. Yep.
But yeah, so I think both me and Dan fell down the conspiracy rabbit hole.
This is like right. Yeah. I didn't need much falling. I took a step into a slight pothole. I said, "Where does this lead?" And then walked the rest of the way.
I'm also one of those people who watches a bunch of like the supernatural things on YouTube. Like I watch a few of them. Like one's called Mindseed TV, who do really interesting like ghost investigations. Mostly because they don't do what every other ghost investigation does, where it's like a noise and they freak the fuck out. Oh, it's a ghost! And they go, what the fuck was that? Oh, let's go have a look. And then they go and check it out. It's like, oh, it's just this. That's fine. Like, they're actually pretty more grounded. But they also throw in some really good special effects, like for when they do want to scare people. It's either they have caught supernatural things on tape, or they have made something interesting. I'm going to err on the side that it's interesting and it's been faked, but it's really well done. Like, at one point, one of the guys trips and gets pulled away, and you don't see anything. It's like, that's very easy to stage. I understand that. But it's still entertaining. Like, it's still fun. But
yeah, if anyone even has a remote interest in conspiracy theories or alternative theories or that kind of shit, please check out the Y-Files, because it is just such a good rabbit hole to just go down. I'm severely hooked on it, and anytime a new episode comes out, I'm looking at it going, I really just want to sit down and sink into it, because it's so fucking good.
More often than not, if one of us realizes there's an episode out, we'll just send the information to the other, like, it's out, there's more things. But speaking of things being out on YouTube, it's something that Seth can jump in on. Fucking Hell of a Boss, that most recent one.
Didn't we talk about this like 2 episodes ago?
We did, but there's a merch drop coming for the most recent stuff in like 2 days.
Yeah.
I am honestly tempted. Like,
why? What's in it?
There's a lot of the generic stuff, the hoodies and all that kind of stuff, but it's all based off the most recent episode. So it's the song, I think there's a few things for specific quotes for Blitz. But I need to find it, because I haven't put up all the stuff yet. I'm like, just, come on. I might actually buy things here, you guys.
I will admit, their art team has done a fantastic job on their merch.
Oh, they definitely have.
It always looks really cool. I'm not going to buy it. It's not my thing, and I'm not buying it from the United States.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But even I can look at that and go, yeah, no, I can definitely see that there's quality done here.
But, it's been a very rambly episode, hasn't it?
Yeah, and we ain't done yet. Come on, guys. The people expect an hour out of us. Come on. Home stretch. Let's go.
Dance monkey. But, other than that, I haven't watched much on the way of like YouTube stuff. I have finally started watching Acolyte. I'm enjoying it. It doesn't deserve the amount of shit that's been heaped on it that people keep giving it.
It's just because it's a chic thing to dump on Star Wars and Disney at the moment.
Yeah. It's also very bandwagon at the moment. Like, everyone loves shitting on Disney, and everyone loves shitting on Star Wars at the moment. It's like, I get it. They fucked up recently. That's cool. But it also means that the other side, who are trying to protect that property, go so hard against the people mentioning, in some cases, valid criticisms. Like, certain parts of the story don't line up, or they're not as good as they could have been. The acting's not the greatest, but it's not bad. I have nitpick things, and that's all they are, nitpicks. But one side's taking these nitpicks and turning them into fucking mountains, and the other side is saying that those people are horrible bigots because they dare criticize something that they like. Like, it is a toxic place.
Yeah, I've not been looking up anything to do with forums on the show. I've just been watching it and generally enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, fandoms in general I find to be pretty toxic.
Yeah.
Especially, like, specific fandoms. That's not mention the Sonic fandom. They can be off in their own little corner doing what they like. Despite
mostly eating paste.
Eating paste and making OCs.
And not even clag. They're literally eating super glue.
Yeah.
They're mixing araldite in their mouth.
Meanwhile, Nintendo's screaming at them, like, please stop. Please stop. Why do you keep doing this? Like, so, they're not going to stop.
Then one of them turns into a werehog.
Ah, God, the werehog. The stupidity.
Pretty much.
One day we'll get a good Sonic game again. It's been a while.
Sonic Mania.
I mean, you can
Mania.
always go back to Mania.
Yeah. Mania was pretty good.
I would give them some points for Generations.
Yes, no, that's fair.
But Mania came out after Generation, so Mania is still the most recent one.
Yeah. I enjoyed Mania.
But those two are good. And they're doing another Generations game.
Let's see if they can, like, capture that lightning again. It'll be okay.
Well, they decided they want to bring Shadow into it, so we'll see.
Edgy McEdgerson is entering the game. I don't want that. I'm sick.
Yeah, kinda.
I'm sick of Edgy Sonic.
Yeah, but he's going to be in the next movie.
Does he have guns in the next movie?
I don't fucking know.
If not, he's not my Shadow. I love the
Is
fact
that your Shadow when he's got a Glock?
Exact 2 Glocks, thank you. But it's every time they made a new character, it'd be nice to have a different thing. Like, we got the edgy guy. We'd just like give him guns. Okay. And then we were stuck with him forever.
How does this function within the setting? It really doesn't. These things, you can poke them and they die.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Depression Sonic.
I think we already had him. I think Silver was basically a Depression Sonic because he was always a whiny little bitch.
Oh, because he came from some apocalyptic future shit.
Yeah,
I don't
basically
even
he was
know
like
Silver's backstory.
He was future Trunks, but somehow whinier, and a hedgehog. But you know, it's goddamn future Trunks.
It's odd that there is that much lore for Sonic.
There is a lot of lore for Sonic. It's
that's the fucking line. Dude, we're in the kiddie end.
Yeah,
still.
I don't want to go any deeper. I don't even want to look at the kiddie pool of it because it's already full of piss.
The kiddie pool. Yeah, I was gonna say it's mostly yellow.
There is no water in that kiddie pool. It is already yellow and stinky.
Yeah, it doesn't get better the deeper you go. It gets worse.
No,
but goddamn. I'm surprised I haven't tried to just let that franchise go. Just like, no, we'll get new mascot. That one's broken. The fandom broke that. New one now.
So, speaking of TV shows, sorry, my brain decided it just wanted to do random linking.
The squirrel woke up.
Yeah, I know, right? I've been watching the newest season of the American version of The Mole.
Have they shot everyone thinking they're the mole?
No, and they're in Singapore.
Oh, fair.
The American Mole goes to different countries.
Yes.
Like the last season, they were in Australia. This season, they're in Singapore. You remember how the show The Mole works, yeah?
Vaguely. There is one person who is meant to be sabotaging their progress.
Yeah. And the game basically functions in two modes. The mode where they're doing a mission or something to make money, and then the information gathering side of the game where you need to figure out who the mole is.
Yeah.
The Americans are so bad at it.
Really?
They are so bad at it.
So bad at like sabotaging or so bad at gathering information?
Both.
At doing anything correctly.
Oh, wow.
They all assume everyone else is the mole, and so they don't trust anybody. So they're constantly more worried about, is someone doing moldy behavior?
I mean,
instead of just getting the fuck on with the thing to get the money.
That tracks simply
that's
because,
just 1950s America. Are you Russian? You sound Russian. I think you're Russian.
I know, right?
It's a combination of that and the fact that their school system is basically target shooting at the moment, so it's a bit hard to...
Like, every episode, there's usually an exemption from the mole quiz at the end of the episode. On the first time they put it out, they had, I think it was $45,000 in the kitty. They go, okay, everyone has to leave this room. Last person to leave the room gets the exemption, but for the whole time there's people in this room, this money goes down. And they ran it down $35,000 before everyone got out of the room.
Holy shit!
Nah, Battle 1. In a more recent episode, they just got it up to 59,500. This is in the 4th episode, by the way.
Jesus.
They keep losing money.
They haven't even broke triple digits yet.
There was, I think when they had, I think it was about 50,000 in there. They had a thing where in their off time, they could spend $5,000 of the kitty from the, of money from the kitty.
Yeah.
To go see a video of the person's, one of the other players' interview for if they were the mole.
Okay.
You know, like, why would you be a good mole? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Everyone but one guy took it, taking $35,000 out of the kitty in one night.
Oh.
But no, in the most recent one, they've worked it back up. It's back up to $59,500.
They really hate auction. 60,000 as a number, don't they?
I know, right? And it's an auction. First one, you could look at someone's dossier.
Yeah.
And they all decided that was fucking useless. We're not taking that, so they didn't take it. The next one was a correction. So if you get one answer wrong on your mole quiz, it'll automatically be corrected without you knowing. And they were like, nope, not worth it. Last one, exemption. Okay, now everyone's suddenly trying to decide whether or not they want to bid, because of course they're using party money.
Yeah.
The winning bid was $59,500. Someone wiped the entire kitty to get a one pass on the quiz.
If that person isn't the mole, I will be very disappointed in everything they do. What the hell?
It's just like these Americans hate money.
Yeah. Which is weird. But like, oh god. Like, at least the Australian one, they'll run around and they'll, build up a decent kit to, spend.
Well, Australians seem to know the difference between the two sides of the game.
Yeah.
When we're on mission, it doesn't fucking matter who's the mole. We've got to get the job done.
Yeah.
When we're off mission, we play the information game. The Americans seem to think that the information game and the mission is the same.
The Americans are caught up on playing Among Us, essentially. That's about it.
It feels much more like it's Among Us than it is the mole.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm
Who's
surprised
the saboteur in this?
I'm surprised the mole hasn't rebranded itself as Among Us at this point.
By the sound of it, the mole doesn't even have to do shit in that. Like, they're just going to bankrupt themselves.
Yeah. In the previous season when they were in Australia, at the end of the thing when they're doing the wrap up, and they talk to the mole, what did you do? What was it like? Yada yada yada. They pointed out that it was like, I didn't really need to do anything. They did it themselves.
Yeah.
Just the fact that there was a mole somewhere was enough to fuck some people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the Americans super paranoid. Just absolutely mega paranoid. The minute you go, one of you's betraying you, they're like, it's everybody.
Yeah.
You're in the way of my money.
And then they don't get the money. I
know! Cool, you're fighting over $500. Yeah, okay, 500 is $500, but you're on a TV show for 3 weeks. Is this really worth it?
Yeah. Yeah. No. And actually, did the Australian one, accidentally leak who the mole was ahead of time of, the big finale?
Sort of, no. I was watching that one.
Yeah.
It was you could only watch it on, I think it was Channel 9's website.
Yeah.
They didn't actually put it up on any of their streaming services. It was you have to go to the mall.
Fair.
But it was all free, so you could just watch it. But the thumbnail card on the video was who the mole was.
Oh, wow.
That was on the final episode of the season.
Whichever intern did that has to have been, fired. No, come on, guys. That's bad.
Any other frame would have been fine, but the one that tells you who the fucking mole is?
Ah, man. Special. That's a special kind of fuck up.
But, that mole had clever ideas in it, because one of the things I don't know, American shows are so afraid of this.
Yeah.
That if you give people a tchotchke that gives them something, its ownership is possession.
Yeah. Whoever has the tchotchke has the thing.
But America is always like, no. Swoosh found the tchotchke, which means Swoosh owns it.
Yeah.
Only he can use it, or he could bequeath it to someone. I hate that, because in Australian shows like The Mole, and when they did their last Australian one, they had all these tokens that meant different things.
Yeah.
You could go in someone else's bag and take those tokens.
Yeah.
Because possession was ownership.
Which makes sense. Especially for a game like The Mole.
Especially when you want drama. You want the players to kind of be a little bit of friction all the time.
And particularly for this, if you've got here's an immunity thing, it's you think you've got an immunity thing to play. I flogged that fucker 3 days ago.
Oh, man.
You can't say, I've got an immunity thing. No, you fucking don't.
The drama, if you finally think you've voted out that shitty person who's annoying you, suddenly they slap down your immunity token. Would that not be amazing?
I mean, that happened.
Oh, nice!
That's gold.
They were collecting these little tokens that gave you immunity for a mole quiz.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to, like, pay off some people so they could move their shit around.
Yeah.
Someone got a hold of them and then played them at the next thing, which is like, yeah, these 3 people aren't doing this quiz now.
Nice. That's pretty good.
But that's what that creates that drama.
Yeah.
It's just like, why I will admit the Americans make plenty of drama because they're like so close to just backstabbing each other. Actually, 2 of the ones on this show, until one of them failed his quiz, were about to, bang on TV.
Oh, nice. That's probably why there's like, we'll just like make him fail. It's fine.
They can make enough drama on their own because they're a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
But like this, like possession makes those items more valuable. You can give them around. You can try and hold on to them, but you can lose them.
Yeah. Like it can be taken away from you, which makes sense. It's a coin. It's easy to nick. But the fact that the American one doesn't have it is so strange.
It's one of the things I've always wondered, but like it's got to be in the contract somewhere that you sign when you go on like Survivor.
Yeah.
That you can't steal immunity items.
I think it is, or they at least do the thing of like, if you have the immunity item, it doesn't mean anything. It's you, the person, got immunity because it's always a reward for winning.
No, you have to still present the idol to get the immunity.
True.
Yeah.
Which is why it looks like a possession is ownership, but I've never heard of anyone stealing an idol from someone, so clearly it mustn't function.
Yeah, and when you see them like on games like Survivor and that kind of thing, when they find the immunity, they immediately hide it. But I think that's more just so that no one else knows that they've got immunity, so they can play that as a surprise, than it is to say, like, you can't take it from me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I've never heard of anything where like someone's been like, especially when you get these players who are like, yes, I'm double crossing everybody.
Yeah.
Where, Dan tells me he has an idol, and I'm like, okay, well, I can take that, and now it's mine.
I mean, like,
no one's ever done it. Like, no one desperate enough to be like, I have to get through. I know someone has an idol. I know where it is. I'm going to go take it.
That is a good point. How many series of Survivor has there been? Because
they're up to 47.
Because I don't remember that ever popping up. And Survivor was always the thing talked about in any office, and I've worked a lot of office jobs. Like, normally that would pop up somewhere. I'm going to Google it. Give me a second.
It's got to be a rule somewhere that, like, you can't steal them from people, or maybe it's, like, go through their stuff, which is where you put it. I don't know. It just feels off, because I've never heard of it happening ever in 47 seasons of that show.
It would be a fun way to, like, sniff something out. Like, if you just spread the rumor, oh, no, I've got all these immunity idols, and then you, like, made a mark on them so that you knew, like, that if there were other ones around, that if yours got stolen, you could see exactly who had taken them.
There are so many different things for immunity. So, according to the Survivor Wiki, a hidden immunity idol, so one of the ones that are just randomly around the place, they are considered personal items and therefore are not allowed to be stolen. So there's something in the contract stating that you can't steal personal items.
So the only reason they want to hide them is so that they can play them for shock factor at the voting. So they can't plan around it.
Okay, cool. I figured there had to be, because it's like 47 seasons and no one, not once, has thought, I'm nabbing that.
I think I'm looking at the immunity necklace now to see if that one's also considered.
Oh, that one's awarded by the show, so I'm pretty sure that is less of a...
Yeah, because that's an obvious, like, everyone knows you've got this. You can't really do that.
Yeah, so the hidden ones, they're considered personal property, so no one can really steal
them. Cool.
Which makes sense. But at the same time, they could have had so much more drama.
I mean, like I said, it happened in the Australian Mall.
Yeah.
Someone got a hold of those tokens, and that was like, your game plan's fucked, I'm going to spend them all right now.
Yeah. Although I'm honestly surprised that, given the way humanity is currently, that there hasn't been one Survivor season that's been cancelled due to Lord of the Flies type scenario. Like, someone...
Well, they all run out of Hawaii now. They don't go onto random locations.
Yeah. But even then, it wouldn't fucking hilarious. In the early days. Wouldn't actually be horrible, but at the same time funny. Just,
It's sort of hard to get to that when you've got, like, several film crews like walking around all over the place.
True, but also those film crews are probably eating pretty well. God, that would be a torturous thing.
This dude comes out, fat ass belly, popping out the bottom of his Teamster shirt and camera.
They're just when they're doing those like camera, what are they called? When they're just talking to the camera kind of thing, confessions,
yeah,
interviews.
Yeah, where it's like just like, man, I haven't eaten in days. I'm so hungry, and all you hear is the crinkling of like a chip wrapper.
Go on, it's fine.
Keep going.
You want a Snickers?
Oh god. And this is why we're bad people.
Yeah. And I think that will do. We managed to banter it over the line.
We did.
And then some.
Yeah, we can...
I knew we could.
Yeah.
We just needed to get the engine rolling, and it just fucking happens.
In our defense, it has been a slow week.
It's been a very fucking slow week.
I get the feeling it's probably going to be slow, probably for most of July.
Yeah. Which means we're basically dosing the squirrels up on caffeine and just going ham. So there's probably going to be a lot of waffle this month.
At least a lot of very random topics.
And
hell,
we
I
have
didn't even get to the pigeon thing.
Oh shit, yeah, the pigeon thing. I forgot about that.
If we remember next week. Later, guys.
It'll probably be a White Files episode.
Bye.
Have fun.
See ya.